Visionary parents, how are you doing today? Yes, it is our class, our month of nurturing healthy self-identity in our children, deep-rooted ones that they know who they are and they are not shaken, they are not swayed when they say, do you know who I am? No matter what the word tries to introduce to them, no matter what the world throws at them, they should be able to stand tall, stand strong, make eye contact, shoulders high, and say, do you know who I am? I know who I am. Last week we started, and today we are looking at unveiling your child's identity, how to understand your child's identity. So let me start with a simple question. Are children born with their identities? Like, are they really born with their identities? Now, the truth of the matter is, seeds are seeds. They are born with seeds. They are born with seeds. Then with nurturing, with the environment, that's what I mean by nurturing, then they take on their full identity. Nurturing has a role to play in who they become eventually. Now, this is why you can have a set of twins, and one is born in the royal family, maybe in the royal family in England, another one is born to just a common family in Nigeria, and they are going to be not the same, they are going to be apart, even though they may have the same temperament. When you talk of, okay, you have someone the one that is strong-willed, you will see strong-willed in what they do. You will see that they have that strength, that strong-willed, that you can't dominate me, kind of, they will have it. But you see, in the overall, the way they will express it, their values and all of that will be different. So now when we talk about identity seeds, we talk about temperament, yes, we talk about natural inclinations and talents, and we talk about basic emotional wirings. That's what we'll talk about when we talk about seeds, identity seeds that the children are born with. Now when we talk about what develops over time, we are talking about values and beliefs that shape them. We are talking about self-image, how they see themselves, what they have in mind. We are talking about life roles, and we are talking about interest and passion. And of course, you know that interest and passion are shaped greatly by the environment. A child may have natural inclination, they may have talent, but when it comes to interest and passion, now they are shaped by the environment. This is what we are going to be looking at today. And my name is Enimi Orebo, and this is the Visionary Parents with Enimi Orebo. This is brought to you by the Visionary Parents. And of course, you know that in the Visionary Parents Academy, what we do is we empower parents. Every parent in the Visionary Parents Academy is empowered to be able to raise the children they have. And in this whole month, what we do every month is we take a topic, a major parenting topic, and guess what we'll do? We'll break it down into everyday practical actionable steps in the form of challenge. So in the Visionary Parent Academy, we are always having 30-month challenge. Last month was about sex education, empowering our children, creating the environment that will make us have continuous conversations with our children. That was our focus last month. And this month, we are focusing on our children, who they are, helping them understand who they are, so that confidence, that faith, that self-belief will go with them a long way. So that in that confidence, in that faith and belief in who they are going to make empowered choices and not poor choices. So that is what we are doing in the Visionary Parents Academy this month. And last week, we started our masterclass here, and we talked about how identity is shaped or how it's formed. And today, it's all about unveiling your child's identity, understanding, because like I just said, it is not like identity is formed from conception, from when a child is the child is just born with certain identities. No, a child is born with seeds. I've mentioned them. I said temperament, I said natural inclination, and of course I said temperament, natural inclination, and I said basic emotional wiring. Children are born with that. However, these three things I mentioned, temperament, natural inclination, and emotional wiring, they get to interact with other things, values. And when they get to interact with values, which is a product of the environment, because the truth of the matter is children they are born blank. We've heard that several times. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean children are not born with temperament. They are born with original wiring. But how these temperament traits are expressed, they are greatly a reflection of how the children are being raised, are being nurtured. That is it. How the children are being raised. So the values around in the environment, the values that the children are being raised around are going to greatly influence the children's identity as they grow older. And that is what we are focused on today. Again, I've said my name is Enime Orepo, and this was brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. So what you want to do, if you are new here, fantastic. I tell you, you are in a very good place. We have amazing parenting resources that can meet your parenting needs. We have treated a whole lot. If you check our channel, you see how many videos we have. So what you want to do is just identify your parenting needs. Where do you have struggles? Just go and watch the videos, and most especially take action. Like one thing I always say is that learning, reading, watching videos is not enough. What makes the difference is you actually taking action. If you are not taking action, you are almost wasting your time. If you are not taking action, no matter what you learn, no matter how much you learn, you realize that it is almost a waste of time. I tell parents, even teenagers, when I teach them that if you don't take action, it's just as good as you not learning it at all. Spend your time playing, spend your time gisting with friends, spend your time binge watching. That is better than you. That is better. That is more productive, if you ask me, than you learning and not taking action. So when you learn, please do well to take action. Now remember, the Visionary Parent Academy is open for you to come and join us anytime. We are open for you to join and get empowered in your parenting journey. So what you want to do again, if you go through this channel and you get value, you actually want to copy the link and share. Invite other parents. Let them know that there is a free, there's a channel there that provide free parenting advice, practical solutions, so that we all can grow. Let's talk about now how we can unveil our children, unveil our children identity. Now, the very first thing we want to do as a parent, we need to observe our children's core personality. Now, it's not just, it is important as parents that we learn to observe our children. We learn to give them space. This is not even a no-brainer. It is not negotiable in our parenting. If you really want to understand the kind of children you have, you need to give them space and observe them. What we do very many times as parents, we are constantly telling our children what to do, how to do things, when to do things. See, I tell you, when you are constantly telling your children these things, you will not have time to even observe them. They will not even have time to even grow independent. Let me give you a practical example. My 13-year-old is, should I use the word rush hour? He's a rush hour person. If you understand what I mean, there are people that when it is almost deadline, that is when they have a lot of energy. They can procrastinate, they can push things forward. So when it's almost deadline, they have a lot of energy. You see them running from a pillar to post, going everywhere, trying to get things done. However, as a parent, what I used to do is every single time I'm reminding him, go get things done, I'm forcing him, I'm telling him. That does not allow me understand his personality. I keep, because as a parent, you need to understand your child's personality. It will save you a lot of drama. It will save you a lot of drama. It will help you understand your child better. It can also help you customize your teaching needs to meet that child. It can help you begin to know exactly what to teach that child and how to teach that child. So ordinarily, if you leave me or many parents, we are constantly, for example, I am going to say, oh, you wake up in the morning. We wake up in the morning and I expect him to say, okay, go to what you have to do and let's do. So what happens is he's dragging his feet, you know. So And me, I'm not patient. I'm wondering, you are still in your room. What are you still doing there? Are you not going to school? This one, that one. No. So as a parent, what you are supposed to do is to pause, observe. Observe. When you observe, you understand your child. Then you are better able to meet your child. So you are better able to understand your child. Why does it rely on, why does it rush? Why does it wait till the 11th hour before he begins to rush? You begin to find out, is it that he has poor time management? Is it that he has a poor sense of time? Is it that the environment we have constantly modeled rush hour? Is it that it is part of his temperament? Like maybe he's a super phlegmatic. You know how they can relax until the last hour. You need to observe your children. If you don't create time to observe them, you may never truly understand them. In the Visionary Parents Academy, one of the things I told them at the beginning of this month was that it's holiday. What you want to do is to take the back seat and watch your child do things. Take the back seat, watch them do things. It is while watching them, you will get to understand them. You get to see what they are going through. Because if we are always in the way, we are always telling them what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, and all of that, we will not have time we will not have time. We will not be able to understand them. Because remember, they are working on our instructions. We are constantly telling them what to do. So we are not giving them space, time, to really show who they are. So it is super important that sometimes as parents, just take the back seat, especially when your children are becoming preteens. Even when your children are toddlers, create the environment, make it safe, stay back and watch them. Stay back and watch them. Watch how much they give up. Watch how resilient they are. Watch how persevering they are. Watch how patient they are. Just sit back and watch them. It is super important. You cannot understand your child without observing them. If you are always coming in the way, if you are always hovering around your child, you will not understand your child. And very many times, we'll just assume. We just assume and we'll run with that assumption. So we need to understand, we need to observe our children. You just don't observe them at home. When you go out, you also observe them. When you observe them, you are going to see patterns. In church, you observe them. In mosque, you observe them. Then if they go to school, now this is why when children are super young, I love the kind of report schools give. When children are young, they are in that class where they sleep. All they do in that class is sleep and eat. Teachers always send reports to the parents. Reports like, oh, your child slept all through today, your child ate 3 times today, they use the diaper and all of that. The teachers are always giving those reports. Those reports are not just meant for you to say, they are patterns you need to pay attention to. They will help you understand your child. For example, we have children who don't easily warm up, who take a long time to warm up, and you know what happens? When we do not understand our children, we are now going to break them. We are going to confuse them. My 8-year-old, for example, does not easily warm up. Doesn't easily warm up. I understand that. I understand this from when he was small, from when he was in one school, from when where we used to go to church and all of that. I know that when we go for events, go for parties and all, I know that he does not easily warm up. So, but as soon as he warms up, because he wants to be sure, okay, this environment, but as soon as he warms up, I know something. I know that he is going to just be happy, lively, and all of that. My 11-year-old, she doesn't warm up automatically, but she warms up easier than my 8-year-old, And when she warms up, she wants to dominate. She wants to take charge. However, she doesn't force her way. She just wants you to submit to her, So because I observe, I understand these things. Now, when you do not observe, you are not going to understand these things. Again, I said a while ago that If we are always telling our children what to do, how to do things, when to do things, where, and all of that, we will not understand these children. If you don't observe, because there are some children who are naturally quiet, for example, they are naturally calm and quiet, kind of peaceful. But as a parent, if you learn to observe, if you give them a lot of space to be themselves, you are going to know, because very many times parents don't know. Those children that are quiet, parents don't know when something is happening to them. Parents don't know when they have a bad experience. They don't know. Why don't they know? Because they don't sit down to observe. So a child can have a very terrible experience. I've had children who have said to me, I was abused, sexually abused at a certain age. And I sit back and I'm wondering, how come your parents never noticed? Because definitely there is no way your parents will not notice. Like, not by a child your age, like by an adult. You are going to feel uncomfortable in a way. You want to feel, the child is going to show signs that, hey, something was done to me. Something happened to me. If a child is being threatened, the parents, you are going to know that this is my child. I know he is calm. I know that she is not the busy bee kind of a child, but there is something a bit somehow. The parents are going to know if these parents spend time observing their children. But if you do not observe your child, you just assume, my child is just this. My child, they don't like trouble. He's peaceful. He's always quiet. You are just going to assume and run with it. You are going to assume and run with it. So it is super important as parents, we observe our children. And because you want to observe your children, you want to know that it is not every single time you are in their way. I can't say this enough. Every single time you are telling them what to do, how to do it, when and where. Sometimes leave them, let them do what they are doing. If they don't get it right, fantastic. You can come in. You can come in and make them repeat it. They don't get it right, good, come in. Have them repeat it. That is more profitable than you constantly on their neck telling them what to do, how to do. Please learn to observe. Learn to be away. Sometimes we have kids, they are squabbling. Take the back seat. See how they want to resolve it. See the one who is the peaceful one. See the one who is just sit back. See the one that will give in. Okay, the one that will give in. Then begin to watch patterns. Watch patterns. Then from there you will know the one that easily gives in. Then you know that the one that no is so adamant. I want my way. Then you know the one who can keep grudges for a long time. You know the one who doesn't have the capacity to keep grudge. Because these things, they matter in the long run. So observe your child's core personality. Observe your child's core personality. By that I mean I'm a sanguine. Look at them. Are they calm? Are they bold? Are they sensitive? Are they adventurous? There's something parents always say. Every parent always believe, oh, my child is so hyper, my child is active. I say, until you meet children who are really active, that is when you know that your child, they are not even let alone thief. Okay, number one is, I said, identify your child's core value, core personality. Number two is discover your children's values. It is also by observing that you understand their values, what matters to them, what they like. If your child is talking about someone, for example, they're talking about their teacher, they're talking about their classmate, what is their particular interest? What are they talking about? Who interests them? Do they come home and talking about football? Even when they are talking about the football, what part of it interests them? So you need to sit down and understand your child values. It is by observing them you will understand when they are talking about things around them. What do they praise? What do they pay attention to? What upsets them? What frustrates them? What makes them happy? You need to observe that in your child. They are part of who your child is. That the environment will further either help or destroy. So it is super important that you understand your child's values. Like I said, there are those things that when they come back from school, they are talking about their friends, teachers, or all. What do they talk about? You see children, they're talking about how a teacher dresses, how they walk, everything about them. You will see some, they'll talk about how the teacher pronounces some words. Some will talk about this teacher is mean. Some will talk about how the teacher teaches, makes it easy for them to understand. That shows you what matters to the child. That is what they pay attention to. So you can have 4 or 5 children. They come back from school. You ask them, how was school? They are going to talk about, they can even be in the same class. You ask them, one is going to talk about a certain aspect. Another is going to talk about a certain aspect. It's only when they are together, you now see them, maybe they start having a uniform discussion. But you will not be, you see them, you have them, all 5, the same class, you ask them. They are going to bring different discussions from different angles. That will teach you what matters to the child. Another thing is you want to study how they see themselves. How do they see themselves? Ask them open-ended questions. What do you like most about yourself? What makes you proud? Their self-description reveals what they believe about themselves, how they define themselves. So every single time you want to know. There are some children, they know how to, adults do it a lot. I get that from adults. But children, that shows you the self-esteem level of the child. When a child does something, you are trying to acknowledge that thing they have done. They just play it down. Some children, they so much want to minimize themselves so that the other person doesn't feel insecure or the other person doesn't feel intimidated. Maybe it's because they want to belong. We had in the self-led summer class, a child asked me, what if you are choosing to lead? What if you are choosing to lead and your friends are angry at you because you are choosing to lead? Now look at that situation. Because you are choosing to lead, your friends are angry at you. So what is the child going to do with it? The decision the child makes, that's the next one. Notice their decision-making process. The decision the child makes will not tell you a great deal who the child is. Because your friends are upset or they are angry or they are jealous or something, because you were choosing to lead, then the friends are not, what you will now decide, okay, you are not going to take it. That will now tell you something about your child. I will take it, I don't care. Do they value position? Do they value friendship? Do they value position more than friendship? It will tell you something about your child. The next one is, I just mentioned it, their decision-making process. This is very important, how they make decisions, what goes into their mind and all of that. Why do you do the things you do? We keep saying it to our children every time. There are reasons you do things. Now, many times you just don't jump in the way and begin to correct them. Instead, stay back and watch them. Let them do the things. And then you come and ask them, why did you do this particular thing? I tell my children, there must be a reason. You can't say, I don't know, I just did it. No. It's not possible you just did it. You did it for a reason. There was a reason you did it. There must be a reason behind your choice. That is the simple truth. There is a reason. There must be a reason behind your choice. You cannot I just did it. No, it's not possible. There is always a reason behind your choice. So that reason will tell you a great deal about your child. Then you now begin to teach. Sometimes you see them, I always ask children this question. Maybe you are in class and you just doze off, and as you are sleeping, your friend passes and steps on you. What are you going to do? Those kind of questions, scenarios, they tell you who your child is. Who is your child? It helps you understand. Then before you know what you begin to teach, you are not just going to assume. That is one problem we have as parents, one issue we have. We are always assuming. And now the thing with assumption is, by the time you assume, you are working on that assumption. You work on that assumption. So you want to shape your child's identity. You want to help your child strengthen an empowering identity. But because you are assuming, you don't even know why your child is doing the things they are doing. You just assume. At the end of the day, you realize that, nah, it is not working. So we must always learn to understand what goes on with our children, why they do the things they do, why they make the decisions they make. You know, like I always say, like I just said, there is never a no reason. You say, no, I just did it. No, there is nothing like I just did it. There must be something going through your mind, something that made you do that thing you did. Maybe you want to revenge, maybe you don't like that person, maybe you feel intimidated, maybe you want that person to be your friend, or you don't want that person to be your friend. Maybe you want to keep everything to yourself, you don't want to share. Maybe you just want your peace and quiet. Maybe you want to be the best, you want to take first position, you don't want anybody again around you. Or maybe someone self is even making you feel, oh, you are not good enough. There is always a reason for their decision. So you actually want to know, okay, you want to know why they do the things they do. You want to know if they follow rules, if they trust their instincts, or if they seek approval. This shows whether their identity is shaped internally or heavily influenced by others. It is important you always know why they do the things they do. That will help a great deal. You pay attention to their passion. This is also super important to help your child to understand who your child is. You need to pay attention to their passions. What are they interested in? And why are they interested in what they are interested in? It is super important. I saw the video of the girl, the picture of the girl, I think Emerson Comfort, the Ibom Air girl. And I saw a picture where she was in secondary school or something like that. She was quite young, she was dark-skinned, she had her short hair, and she had a uniform. Beautiful, innocent girl. You can't begin to compare that innocent girl with the girl that the pictures went viral, who was almost nude. Like, see her pictures on Facebook. And I have some in my gallery, almost nude all over the place. You want to ask, how did this girl become this one? How did this innocent looking girl become this girl that you can call wild and you wouldn't have to think she's not? That's what we are talking about. Maybe if the parents paid attention, if the environment, people around paid attention to her when she was much younger, they'll be able to tell how she went from being that innocent girl to being the girl she is now. So pay attention. It's super important. Again, I said observe. We cannot want to understand our children without observing. That is it now. So what you want to understand something, you want to take your time to pay attention and observe what they do. Again, that's why I said it's not every time you are jumping around, you are telling what to do. Apart from building confidence, apart from building independence, apart from letting them trust themselves, another reason why you should not always hover around, you should give them a lot of space. Don't just a little space, but a lot of space. Is because you want to understand them. You want to understand them. So you should trust them. Make sure your environment is safe. Then give them space. It will help you understand them. Then watch their roles in social groups. This is also very important. When they're in an environment, what do? Do they take part? Do they lead? Do they sit back? You actually want to understand this thing in your children. Are they followers? Do they follow? Or they just stay away? You need to understand. It is super important. This way, then you begin to nurture whatever you want to nurture. You begin to create an environment that nurtures what you want them. Hello, you're back. Welcome, darling. Then you begin to deliberately. Did you come with him? What's his name? Yeah, okay. You begin to deliberately. Yes, please.
My bread was like that. There was somebody who beans at.
I did. You can eat it. Yes. So you want to begin to understand them, And then when they go to an environment, tell your siblings they are disturbing and tell what's their name. Tell them that they are disturbing. So do you What how do they respond? How do they act when they go out? Maybe when there's a group work, do they want to take leadership? Do they want to sit back? Do they just want to be on the fence? When there's a debate, something, clash of opinion, what do they do? You know, how do they respond? You want to take notes of these things for your child, because at the end of the day, it is going to help you understand who they are more naturally before you begin to bring your structure in. Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine. Hello.
Are you kidding me? Before you begin to nurture whatever you want nurtured in them, there are some, they will just relax and you are wondering, it is because maybe I don't have strength, or I don't want to argue, or I just don't want to lead. Anything you say, anything they say, I just follow. I don't want to lead. I don't have strength to come and lead, or people will not listen to me, so I don't want to. It is super important that you understand your child. That was why the other point was understand the reasons behind the decisions they make. If I leave my 13-year-old, when he goes out, he will not participate. He will just sit there. People will participate in activities. You just be wondering. He will just sit there. He has this kind of mindset that, okay, you see me, you pick me. If you don't pick me, it's your cup of coffee. Nah. So you need to understand, and he will say something like, the place was rowdy. Everybody was just pushing up and down. Nah. So you need to understand. Everybody is pushing up and down. So why you are part of everybody? Why are you not pushing up and down? Success doesn't come to people who sit and wait. It comes to those who go and grab it, who take the bull by the horn. So you actually need to understand what drives your child. You need to understand why they do the things they do. You need to understand when they go out, the roles they play in group. Are they leaders? Are they followers? Or they are just indifferent? This is super important. Now recognize their belief system. Now this is something that is super important, that our children come in with very many times. There are also seeds. However, as they grow older, then the environment begins to influence it in a way, their belief system. Some children, they believe it has to be mine. Everything, it has to be mine. We talk about temperament. They want to dominate. They just want to be at the forefront. Those are innate belief systems, innate values they have. Those are the seeds they came with. So you want to understand. Now, as your children grow older, again, the environment begins to rewire it, to reshape all these things. That's why you see children, they now behave like, I was talking about the Comfort, Emerson, or how her name is pronounced. When she was young, innocent girl, but now that she's grown, she's not so innocent again, So you want to understand their belief system from when they are small. Is it a belief system that promotes self-confidence? Is it the one that they are self-confident, they don't believe in themselves? I can't try, There are some people that are naturally, I have a friend who is a perfectionist. So because she believes that things must be in a certain way before she starts. And it is because of her natural seed, her temperament. That is why. So belief system, you need to understand their innate belief system. Everybody has innate belief system. There are some people, their life is just fun. Fun. They just want to play. They just want to have fun. They just believe, you are too serious. Please bring it down, Be flexible. Meanwhile, they are over flexible. They are too flexible. They need to strike a balance. And they will tell you, oh my God, you are too rigid. You need to up your game a little. So understand your child's innate belief system. Recognize their belief system, How do they explain right or wrong? It's super important. Do they adopt family beliefs blindly, or they ask why? Are they the children that just, okay, you tell them and they just say, okay, why? Now, the thing is, age will come to play a factor in everything we talk about. When we talk about parenting, we cannot take age, the age factor away from it. No, age will always come to play. Age is a major factor. However, something you realize is that as children grow older, there are some that they have some kind of beliefs naturally. Those ones, it will take a long time for those beliefs to be broken. Now, this is why, was it this one I was talking about, character defect in the Visionary Parents Academy? Something called character defect. So if a child naturally has some tendencies, like some seeds, they naturally have some seeds. Now, the environment will either go further to nurture that seed or to uproot that seed or to balance it. The environment has a great role to play. Now, I was talking about a child who is a perfectionist. I just referred to that. A seed, they always want things to be done in a certain way, order and all of that. Now, imagine that child is raised in an environment where it has to be order, it has to be perfect all of the time. What do you expect? At the end of the day, the child may end up being, they'll say, oh, I have obsessive compulsive disorder. Everywhere must be quickly clean. It is not really because they have obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. It may not really because they have OCD. It may just be a character defect because these natural seeds in them was watered a great deal while they were being raised. So you will not see it becomes extreme. Like a child who is naturally patient, just believes, oh, let me relax, things will fall in place. Now that child is now being nurtured in an environment where they are kind of complacent, no ambitiousness or things like that. What do you expect? You expect that child to grow up and become super complacent. Why? Because of how that seed was further planted, how the seed planted by nature was further watered. I know I'm usually more energetic than this, but I have a bit of a headache and I have a class later today, so I just want to I don't want to exert myself so that I still can be productive later, and I have a bit of headache. So I think I've stressed myself lately. So let's go. Now remember, the Visionary Parent Academy, this is the Visionary Parent with Enemy Orebo, was brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy where parents are super empowered to be the best parent they can be, to raise the children that God has given them, to actually carry out their assignments with confidence, with grace. Parenting, we always say parenting is hard. I believe parenting is hard because we don't have the right skills. When you have the right skills, you realize that parenting now is not such a hard thing. There's the right way. There are strategies. There are tools. Once you have the strategies, you have the tools, parenting becomes super easy for you. And that is what we offer you in the Visionary Parents Academy. We want to work with you, want to partner with you to make parenting easy for you. So I want to encourage you to ask how you can join, and of course join the academy so that your parenting mindset will be greatly transformed. Okay, so let's go. Track how they handle pressure. How do your kids handle pressure? Again, this goes down to decision making. How do they handle pressure? Do they compromise who they are to fit in or stand their ground? Do they compromise who they are to fit in or stand their ground? Now, this is super important. If you sit down and observe your child, if you are constantly telling them what to do, you may not understand this. When you go out, just watch them. Do they compromise? Why do they compromise? Is it because they want to fit in? Is it because they love peace? What exactly? Why do they compromise? Then you need to know how to nurture that strong self-will in them. If you have children who compromise a lot, again, I'll still talk about my 13-year-old because he's kind of calm and peaceful. Even though he doesn't compromise who he is, the reason he may likely give in is because he wants peace. He's not someone who wants trouble. So you need to understand that. You need to now say, okay, my child is someone who compromises. Why? Maybe because he wants peace. He doesn't just want, or maybe because he's so scared. He's always fearful that harm may befall him. If he's threatened a little, he runs with it. Just maybe because of this or maybe because of that is why he compromises a great deal. So you want to understand that. When you understand that, you want to know how to now begin to help them understand, how to now begin to nurture that strong will in them. So you need to first of all understand if they compromise, why do they compromise? Is it because they want to fit in? The fear of missing out. Oh, everybody seems to be having fun. They want to fit in and have fun. Is that the reason? I don't just want the pressure. These people are going to come back and pressure me. I just don't want the pressure. Let me just come and join them, you know. Oh, I want to be liked. I want to be seen as the cool person. I want to be liked. So what is the reason? Why do they compromise to fit in? You need to understand this thing because they will compromise in many areas. Children, as they grow up, one of the major things they think about or that happen to them around them, what is it? One of the things that happen around them is about dating and relationship. So will they compromise? This is super important. So track how they handle pressure. How do they handle pressure, especially when their friends at school, our friends outside are pressuring them? How do they handle pressure? And this is also why you need to be accessible. You need to be present. You need to be available so that they can always come and talk to you. If you are not accessible, you are not present, you are not available, they may not be able to come and talk to you. Another major thing, apart from observation, you need to also be very, very accessible. Your doors need to be always open. The doors of communication in your parenting needs to always be open so that your children can come and share with you. That way you will understand. Identify their self-talk patterns. Listen to how they talk about themselves. This is also very important. Now, you may not hear them say, oh, I'm a failure, or you may not hear them say, oh, I can't do things. They may not say it verbally, but their actions will tell you their self-thought patterns, what they believe in themselves. By the actions they take, the choices they make, you will know what they believe in themselves. If they easily give up, it could mean they don't believe they can win that, you know. They easily give up. It means they don't believe they can actually get past a particular stage. So that is what they are saying. Their words may not be saying it, but their body language, their action will be saying it. So you need to study your, what did I say? You need to study their self-talk patterns, what they say to themselves all of the time, with their actions, even with their words. One thing I know for sure is children, it may not actually be their pattern. They just watch cartoon. They learn, cartoon, they can say, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so useless. Oh, I can't do anything right. They just grab those words from cartoons. They come and start saying it. Now, this is why I said, watch their patterns. It's not just what they say by words of mouth, what they say by their bodies, by their actions, what they actually do. We need to pay attention to it. That will help you understand what they think of themselves, help you understand their identity, so that you know, okay, these are the seeds. Remember I said, when your children are still kids, when they are born, their identities are not fully formed. Children don't come with their identity, they come with seeds. They come with temperaments, they come with inclinations, they come with emotional wiring, they come with these things, So it is you, the environment you create, that will now help them nurture those particular seeds they come with. Whether you are watering them, whether you are balancing it or something, you are the one that will do it. So it's super important we begin to watch those seeds and their self-belief, what they believe in themselves. Oh, I can't, I won't just try again because I can't. Or they believe, you see this thing, I must do it. You can easily notice this thing if you observe your children. If you are not always jumping in the way, if you are not always telling them what to do, when to do it, how to do things, you are going to understand patterns in your children. If you know that if you are struggling to understand patterns in your children, just know that you may be over parenting. You may always be telling them what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and all of that. That is why you don't understand them. So give them a break, give them an allowance. Sit back, take the back seat, and watch them do things. That is how you can know, you can understand their patterns. That is how you can understand their identity, their forming, and then you are able to step in to balance and all of that. Lastly, give them space to show you their identity. Now, this is what we have been talking about since. Give them space to show you. Take the back seat, relax, and watch them. Why are you not playing football? Give them space, sit back, and relax. A lot of the time, again, I started with this, and I'm wrapping up with this. I cannot overemphasize this. Sometimes you understand a child's identity best when you stop trying to control it, and simply give them room to be themselves in safe places. That is true. When you step back, you watch them, then you understand them because you are paying attention. It's not when you are always stepping in, you are always telling them what to do, how to do it, where to do it. A lot of things parents do, I don't get it. I see parents, maybe you take your child somewhere and your child is being questioned and parents are jumping in to answer. I'm like, your child is 5, your child is 6, they're even 3, they're even 4. They can already speak and talk confidently. So why are you their mouthpiece? Why are you helping them talk? You will see the adult there. Instead of them to ask the child, they will face the parent and be asking the parent, hello? The child can speak for himself. Let the child speak for himself. So it is super important, we give children space. We give them space to try, space to do things. We give them space to explore. We take the back seat and watch them. It is how we know how frustration tolerant or intolerant they are. It is how we know how patient they are. It is how we know how resilient they are. Even when you assign chores, I said to parents in the Visionary Parents Academy, it is called age-appropriate chore for a reason. Age-appropriate simply means your child can already handle it. So when you are hovering around the child, it simply means that you are saying your child, you cannot handle an age-appropriate chore. So don't give them over. Don't give them something that is too much for them. Just give them something that they can handle, age-appropriate. And when you give them something they can handle, leave them. Let them handle it. Take the back seat and observe. Observe. Because it's age appropriate. Then you have the, how do I call it? You have the, should I say the confidence. You have the confidence to let them get the things done on their own. So while at it, you are watching how patient they are. You are watching how much they don't give up. You are watching how are they able to put their brain into use. You are watching, is common sense common? You are watching how have they learned. You are watching self-leadership. You are watching self-confidence. A lot of things you are watching. So unfortunately, if you do not take the back seat sometimes and observe, you may never be able to understand the identity your child is tilted towards. Remember, children are not born with that identity, a fully formed identity. No. That's personality now. They are born with seeds. Seeds. Those seeds are what now grow. Depending on the environment they are being raised in. Depending on the environment they are being nurtured in. Those seeds are what now grow. It's either those seeds that develop, they become fully blown, or they are crushed. So you need to sit back and observe. I told you 2 major skills, 2 major tools you are going to use to understand your child's identity. One is power of observation. Being able to observe. When you observe. And 2 is giving them space. Giving them space. And the next one is being open. Open. Because you may not be there to observe. You don't follow them to school, so you cannot observe what they are up to in school. You don't follow them to their class in church, so you may not be observed. Thanks for bringing. Thank you so much, sir. You may not follow them to church, so you may not observe what is happening there. But if they are able to come to you and talk to you and share with you, you will understand. You'll be able to understand them. So yes, wrong with these 3 things. 1, take your time to observe. And you can't observe if you are always hovering around. You can't observe if you're always telling them what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Dare to take the risk. We say life is about calculated risk. If as parents you don't take calculated risk with your children by giving them some level of independence, how will they understand, how will they now grow to be able to take calculated risk? They won't be able to grow to take calculated risk. So in taking calculated risk, I said let them, give them space to be independent. All you need to do is to structure your place. If your kids are still toddlers, then make sure that place is fully safe. Is it toddler proof now or baby proof? Make sure your place is baby proof. When the space is baby proof, leave them, let them explore. That is how you can observe them, observe their strengths, observe their identity, know where they are tilting towards. When they are playing with friends, you see that they are follow. Their friends say, hey, oh yes. If you see them, oh, they always prefer their friend. Their friend has something. That is what they now prefer to the ones they have. You begin to note these things. You note patterns. Sometimes it's a one-off. Sometimes it's a pattern. You begin to note it. It's a pattern. If they give them this thing, they always prefer what the other person has. You begin to note these patterns. At the end of the day, these patterns that you are creating a structure around to shape. These patterns you are going to use to help your child grow into the person the unshakable person that they will be, so that no matter what life throws, their identities are not shaken. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Enimia Orebo, and this was brought to you by Parenting, the Visionary Parents with Enimia Orebo. Remember, it was brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy, an academy where parents are empowered with parenting skills, strategies, tools to parent with confidence and with grace. The Visionary Parents Academy is a very vibrant academy that holds you accountable for your parenting, provides you with tools, with templates to raise the children you have, and help you build confidence and help you raise your child to be the person your child was originally designed to be. So you want to send a message and ask how you can join us. And yes, in the comment section, send a message and ask how you can join us, and we'll be glad to have you. Thank you so much. See you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.